Go live. Check, check, check. Audio check. Can you guys talk? One of you?
Hi, Internet. How's it going?
Okay. All right, good. The stream picked up your fart sound. And
Nice.
Walls. Hello. So hi, Internet. Maybe one day there will be a person in here. But yeah, so the summary, it's been a while, I guess, over a month. But last time, they basically spent the entire time trying to figure out what to do with money. And brought home 30,000 silver, went to the Baron, and exchanged 15,000 of it for 750 gold pieces. And so they now have, I guess that would be 1,500 plus 75, so 1,575 pounds worth of money sitting in their cart or at home with their ranger and his possibly ranger lover or something, depending on his intentions. That we'll never learn at this rate.
Ranger up.
Ranger, I barely know her. But yeah, so you guys, how much money does it cost for training? No, why did you go away? Why did you delete all my books, you jerk? Oh, that sucks. I have to open all my D&D books again. What the fuck? It was perfectly fine before. Oh well. Okay, so let's find the books. Gaming. AD&D 1E, and I'm going to open this handbook. DMG, Monster Manual, Fiend Folio, Monster Manual 2, and Honor of Tarkana. And, okay, so training. Let's see how much training costs. Leveling up, gaining experience levels. Character design events. Okay, so level of the trainee character. So whatever level you guys are times 1,500. Is that number of gold pieces? That's a lot.
That would literally be all our money.
Yeah, it says it's level of trainee character times 1,500, so that's a lot of fucking money.
What the fuck?
That's
ridiculous.
Well, it's meant to eat your gold so you don't have thousands of pounds of it all the time. That's partially what it's for. So what we'll do is
what about
this is more for future reference. I'm not worrying about this right now. I just wanted to remember what it was. And Yeah, okay. So we'll say that. Okay, so that's what I'll note for the future. Um, but anyway, it's you need to spend some time training on your different classes to level up. I don't
Yep.
remember what class is all leveled up.
Well, for me, my fighter and my cleric leveled up.
Okay. So it'll take you probably 2 weeks to train up your fighter level, and I think you're in week 3 of um, what was it? A month and a half, I said, or was it?
Cleric level.
Um,
I think you said it was 3 months for cleric.
I might have. I think you're 5 weeks in. I think is what I said.
Hmm.
Um, well, it was only that long anyway because of the fact that you don't have anyone to train with really. Um, and so we're gonna stick with that. And I think it was like month and a half for Walls, because he also doesn't have anyone to train with. So I guess it's up to you guys what you want to do. You're gonna spend some time training yourselves up and preparing for your next adventure, or you can eschew your level up for the time being and start adventuring.
No.
Um, can we do things while we're training?
You can do some downtime activities, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
I'll train.
you can't go out and adventure, but you can like go shopping. You can talk to people. You can uh, do minor little quests of sorts that are like in town or whatever. You know, like you could go farming if you wanted to for a little bit. I don't know. So,
Hmm.
oh hey, Soder,
Oh, Snow's in there.
he's certainly in chat.
Hi, Shota.
Um, yeah. So you've got how many potions did you buy from the guy? The love potions, filters of love, or vials of
I
love.
think we bought a batch, right? We bought 6 in total, or,
Okay,
however many a single batch is.
I believe a batch was 4.
Oh, okay.
We're doing all
Four, but
right. We're a bit short on players because Stony never wants to hang out with us, and Equin is also more interested in not hanging out with us than hanging out with us. So sad face. But um,
Hmm.
not sure Equid knew today was happening, to be
I don't
fair.
think he did. um,
Did we
but
text him?
he's pinged on the Discord. I didn't text him. We can text him if you want.
Sure.
All right, I'll text him. Let's. I'll just text him a gif of pointing. Sure, that one's fine. All right. I texted him a gif of an anime pointing at him. So there you go. Um,
That's all the context that's needed.
I agree. So maybe I should have done the gif of Anya staring though, because I do like that one too. um, Anya from Spy Family, which I
Oh
still
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
watched.
Yeah. I think I watched the first couple of episodes and then I kind of fell off it.
Yeah, the itch hasn't really struck me to watch it yet, but I'm sure I will eventually.
I mean, the itch will probably strike when you have kids. So
Probably. Okay, he seems to know, but he's busy. So I was right. um,
uh,
but yeah, okay. So what are you guys doing?
I am in the tavern. Is there coffee in the tavern?
Oh, you're in Tiana's Respite.
Yep.
There is definitely coffee in the tavern. You can order some coffee.
I'm
is
in the
there a
tavern.
blacksmith in this town? Okay, I'll wait until you finished. Pause.
Okay, I am going back and forth. Um, there might not be a public library, but certainly there might be. The lord of the area might have one. I'm basically trying to learn everything about like major cities, trade routes, their economies, maybe random folklore here and there.
So you're just trying to study up on the history of the the you're trying to learn about the empire or like just the local area.
Yes, both.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that once I answer Duma's question, or once I hear what he wants to do. Drakus,
Hi.
what did you want to know?
Yeah. Is there a blacksmith in town?
Yes, you've already seen him.
Okay. Was he the one who upgraded my armor, my weapons?
He's the one you guys got to upgrade your stuff. Yes,
Okay. So
and he also sold you a bunch of leather saddlebags and stuff.
yeah. So I want to create a scythe, like a scythe that I could use for battle.
Okay. Um, what was his name again? It was I can't remember. Why am I bad at life? Um. Oh, Yallo. Okay, so you head over to Yallo, um, and you ask him about whether or not he can forge a scythe for you, and he goes, "Well, I can certainly forge you, uh, make one for you if you'd like, but do remember that, given the state of things, it's going to be quite expensive. I don't have much iron to throw around at this point. It's hard to come by these
That's
days."
fine. Um, so like specifically, this is a scythe that I would be able to use in battle. Because I know scythes generally aren't combat tools and they're kind of unwieldy for combat, but one that's like fashioned specifically for battle.
Well, that's an interesting um, request. I guess we'll base it off of because they don't have sides written even in. Oh wait, do they? That's a longer list. Nope, there are no sides in even unearthed arcana apparently. So I'll have to make up what it is. Um, so we will say that it is roughly of halberd length. And well, I guess because it's got a weird moment of inertia, given it's very top heavy and it's a slashing weapon, the speed factor is going to be, I guess, probably similar. You know what? I'm just going to use the halberd stats, I guess. But for the base, so that's fine. It seems reasonable enough. 5 feet long, plus, and a speed factor of 9. That seems reasonable enough to me. So the price of halberd is something. What is the price of a halberd? That's the weight, not the price. Price of a halberd is okay. So the amount of iron is probably comparable. So I'm going to say that it's going to cost you 30 gold pieces to get a scythe forge.
Okay. So I remember he did a specific technique to like sharpen my claymore. Would it be possible for him to do that with the scythe as well?
Well, he doesn't really need to sharpen it. He just needs to forge it to some specifications.
Be that sharp. Okay, yeah. So essentially what he did with the claymore to get the +1 is what I'm asking.
Was that a +1 in damage that you got?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna it's probably gonna take him extra effort, so that would up the price to about 35 gold. Especially since it's designed for combat and not farming.
Yeah. I wonder, is there a way that he can make it lighter? I assume that would compromise on damage. I'm just kind of thinking like what the options are.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Would there be a way to reduce its speed factor? I assume that would compromise on damage, but I'm just kind of wondering what the options are.
You can reduce the speed factor a little bit. It would require very delicate metal work to keep it, to basically reduce the because he has to basically add a bunch of weight. He either has to take away use some special technique to reduce the weight of the scythe head and make it easier to swing by essentially reducing its moment of inertia, kind of like the way that I think they do with katanas or whatever. They like remove a little bit of metal to make it a little bit lighter feeling when it swings, while not drastically reducing its strength. Or he would have to add weight to it along the staff portion of the scythe in order to make it essentially a little less unwieldy. Like you basically have to counterbalance it, possibly by adding like a metal ball at the bottom.
I'm kind of thinking maybe it would be possible to like kind of I'm kind of thinking like I wonder if it'd be possible to pattern that.
To patent it?
Not patent, to pattern.
Oh,
like pattern. Yeah.
Like create
like essentially create a pattern that increases the weight. Yeah. To create an ornate pattern along the staff that increases the weight.
You could certainly do that. What sort of pattern do you have in mind?
So I'm thinking it would probably be a vine with moths clinging onto it.
Okay. I haven't done anything quite that ornate in some time, but you know what? Not too many jobs coming my way anyway for metalwork, so you know what? I'll take it up on your challenge. And you know what? I'm not.
Yep.
I'm only gonna add the price of the metal, the additional metal to it. I'm not gonna add any cost for labor. So for that, and
No.
this is going to.
I actually I shut him down here, and I was like, no. I'll pay you 50.
Well, I guess I'm not gonna fight you on this. If you insist, ma'am.
If you can pull it off, you'll well deserve it.
Much obliged. This could take me a little while. Say, come back in 2 weeks' time, and I see how I'm doing. I might be done by then. But even if I'm not, I'll at least know
Okay.
how much longer it'll take.
Thank you. So I think what I'll do, because I think my vision for this kind of arc of training, I guess, is that my fighter training would focus on the scythe. So me learning how to use the scythe, me essentially creating a battle, creating a combat style that accentuates the scythe,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. So I think I will spend this 2 weeks training solely for my cleric duties. And I will spend the next 2 weeks training the scythe.
Okay. Fair enough.
Hmm.
And as for, so we'll just let you do that. I might
It's probably something I actually want to check as well. Yeah, pardon?
because you're trying to create a fighting. I guess it's whatever. Um,
I mean, I'm fine with you increasing
the
the
training
difficulty of it or increasing the time it takes.
the training time should increase if you're trying to like create a scythe style, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll make it an additional week of training to get basic handle on the scythe. Um,
Hmm.
and all right, so Jeffrey, you wanted to know about the local everything. Were there any specific questions you had in mind?
Roads, trade routes, and the economic activity supporting nearby towns.
Well, so the best you can tell based on recent news is that the economic activity is supporting nearby towns, and there's not many nearby towns. This is basically the only town of reasonable size within 3 weeks of travel, and the only other town that's within 3 weeks, uh, significant of similar or greater size, is basically directly to your south. The trade routes uh, that come through this town basically head north and south from uh, the Dwarven Kingdom of whatever it's called. That's the official name. I'm gonna find it. I wrote it down. I need to learn my own setting. Araxakan. And so it travels up north into Araxakan, essentially directly to a major mountain range that spans from northwest to southeast in that country, in that nation, and that's about two. That mountain range is like 2 months travel away, more or less directly north. Um, the road does bend eastward uh, significantly around the after the first month of travel, and it starts to head more to a northeast direction, essentially to the center of the mountain range, where one of the biggest mining colonies turned center of the kingdom is located, um, towards its capital, which is also known essentially as Araxakan, the country ultimately being named after capital. Um, and so that's what the northward, the southward direction heads to a smaller town known as uh, to another town of similar. It's actually a little bit bigger than Risteus, the town you are in right now. Um, Possibly even reaching to the size of a small city, and that's because uh, it is actually very located in a very good position with next to a nearby lake, and it's nestled in between two rivers that flow into it. Um, One from the west and one from the southwest. Um, and then it empties. The river continues to flow basically eastwards after that lake, um, eventually reaching the ocean to the east, some many leagues east. The continent is rather large, so it basically flows for another um, in terms of day travel time, 3 months in that direction uh, along a road. It'd be how long it would take. Um, and that town is essentially known in the local tongue as uh, the Black Lake Town, in terms of a literal translation of what the um, town is. A literal translation from the term Mustayarvi, which is the name in the local language or in the historic language of the Vicon Empire. And so that's about a 3-week travel directly south and bending somewhat east, uh, somewhat east along that direction. And the road continues eventually all the way south, ultimately snaking this way and that as it travels to the southern Elven kingdom beneath you. The other road, the one that runs east to the west, essentially heads eastward all the way out to the sea towards a port town known as Itainen. And there are some towns scattered throughout some very small villages that are at least nearby off the path. There is a fair number of farming villages in that direction, but few along the road. There's one or two larger cities in the way along that path, but much of it is basically the road is mostly pretty vacant of settlements and is mostly just a distant travel route, a long travel route that happens to be good between the capital of Uteush and the Itainen, which is the great eastern port of the Vicon Empire. And to the west, of course, the road leads directly to Uteus, as you might have guessed, which is on the far western edge of the country of the empire. In fact, behind a mountain range that spans that goes from the northeast direction of that city to the southwest, ending on the western ocean on that side. And the mountain range somewhat snakes around where this city is located, and that city is in fact the largest city on the entire continent, and it is enormous and a massive social hub. It is very well protected by the mountain range that snakes around it. A rather fertile canyon directly to the north and a swamp directly to the south before hitting the mountain range again, or a massive marshland, and of course the ocean to its direct west. And it's located about a day and a half to 2 days inland from the sea, and that's the main uh, um, the only major city that the western route directly reaches. Any other cities branch off from that road and go in different directions. In other words, this massive east-west road was more or less built to facilitate direct trade route between its westernmost and easternmost um, uh, important cities. And of course, the north-south road developed largely as a path for. It was originally a path between the northern Dwarven kingdom and the southern Elven kingdom, and once, and this was many thousands of years ago, followed by eventually when the Viking Empire rose up and became a part of this continent. It basically subsumed it, and that road remained in use ever since. So it's an ancient road, even far more ancient than the east-west road, which only goes back a couple thousand years. So that is a broad summary of a lot of information that you can have the trade often follows the east, west, and north, south road. This is more or less why this town exists in the first place. Just because a lot of people rest here and camp here, so there's usually a significant amount of traffic, even if it is relatively sparse, due to the fact that the distances being discussed are huge. So there's not like an insane amount of traffic constantly. But it is regular enough that a settlement does exist here, and it is a rather prominent one in some ways. And it is of some import, though it's unfortunately in sort of kind of the worst geographic position to really be of any economic import itself directly, other than for basically watching trade happen.
That's enough.
So I hope that satisfies your curious ears.
I closed the notebook I've been taking. That has been very helpful. Thank you.
The librarian, the wizard guy gives back to you and goes, "No problem. Come back anytime."
All right, now I
Dwarves and
guess I should go
elves can
learn
be
health.
good friends sometimes, Soder. Sometimes. This is also thousands
I
and
guess I
thousands
should
of
go
years ago.
train in healthcare or some such.
Good deal.
You can't earn compound interest if you're dead.
Indeed not. All right. So
How
you
does
got
enchanting work in this game?
enchanting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's any real strict rules for it in AD&D. You just have
I mean,
magic
there's not
items.
really any strict rules for it in 5e either, but my DM made rules for them and they were really cool. So ever since I've been obsessed with enchanting and making items, so
Well, I mean, like the
that's just
basic.
me, I guess.
You got to be a wizard, basically, or at least you have to have significant magical knowledge. Usually, there's a number of techniques in this world. Some of it involves runes that are like embedded directly into it, like certain scripts have magical power in and of themselves. Generally, you have to impart. Sometimes you can use the magical creatures and fuse the metal itself with their blood in order to make it either more receptive to magical enchantment or otherwise. So, for example, uh, very powerful magic items can often have been made using like the blood of red dragons or other dragons for that matter. And usually this comes with the side effect of making them uh, receptive to fire enchantments and stuff. So there's a number of techniques that you can use to do it. Sometimes it actually is just like exposing the sword to repeated magical um, attacks, if you will. Not really attacks, but like continuous source of magical energy. Like it'd be kind of like gently shooting uh, magic missiles at a sword every day, 3 hours a day, with weak magic missiles constantly for like an entire year, and eventually that imparts the magical energy onto the sword itself, in some sense. And that's more of an analogy than a direct example of how it's done, but you get what I'm saying. You're just exposing the sword, and it sort of becomes part of it. And of course, there are some materials out there that are make, like I said, that make them more that make it easier to do enchantments or preserve enchantments better. Um, and so it's a combination of what materials you're using and what techniques you want to use. So there's
What about nymph hair?
like infusing it in a weapon.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
of course, you wouldn't be able to infuse the hair into the steel, obviously, but
depending on what kind
like,
of thing you're trying to do, like sure, it could probably have some magical properties. I guess hypothetically, given recent context, if you wanted to, you could try to make it a sort of. You could like make a Cupid's arrow.
um, I wonder what would happen if potentially a small amount of the nymph hair was used to create the grip.
For your scythe.
It's like weaved into the grip. Yeah.
Would there be a purpose behind this, like some sort of enchantment goal you have, or is it just because you think it's cool?
Part because I'm curious as to what will happen. Part because I think it's cool, and also part because I want to. I eventually do want to enchant this weapon.
Okay. So you want the hair to be. How much hair are you using?
We have 49 strands.
I believe that's true.
So yeah. Um, this would probably need to be a group discussion because I can't just be spending our limited stock of hair on something that may not even be of import.
Hey, you know what I say?
So
As long as Walls agrees, the present party is the only thing that matters. I'm just saying.
okay. Could I cast detect magic on the hair we have?
Sure. You definitely you cast it and you detect that it does have a magical energy. It's sort of weak and gentle, but it's there. I mean, it came from a magical creature, so it does have some inherent magical properties to it. Yeah,
I
it's
wonder if like could I study the magical properties of the nymph hair? To try and see if there's anything I notice.
sure. So this would take about a good chunk of your time. So I mean, it's not going to take away from your training really. It's just something you're going to do after, like at the end of the day or something, I would assume. Um,
Yeah, essentially experimentation.
yeah.
Um,
So I guess
one of the things I'd probably do is I'd try and send some magic through the hair to see if it could conduct magic or something like that.
well, why don't you tell me what you try specifically, and I'll tell you what happens.
So the first thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and send a motes of moonlight through the hair.
Okay, so you're basically trying
I'm
to
gonna
cast motes of moonlight through the strands of hair, or just add it.
yes,
Okay.
through
Welcome
it.
to the stream where we invent fiber optic cable.
Yeah. So normally motes of moonlight, what it does is it's basically just a 10-foot wide beam that heads off in a direction, lighting up creating a silvery light.
Yes, but
As you
it's a
try,
beam, meaning that it has a direction.
yes. But I mean that's I mean what I'm just saying that's what it does. I'm just saying that for comparison.
Yeah.
So as you try to focus the light through the hair to see what happens, you do see that the hair itself does begin to glow in that silvery fashion. It is what did I say? What color hair the nymph had?
I'm just assuming it's blonde.
I guess
You
it's
can correct me if you.
I guess it's probably blonde. I don't remember what I had. I was imagining. Well, let me see what that image I took was. I should check that because it could be. Maybe it's already drawn for me by that AI. Where is it? Grok. Well, the nymph is very white in this image. Extremely pale.
Okay, so it's white hair, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Why not?
white.
Her hair is white.
Okay, that works.
So it glows in a silvery fashion. I guess it doesn't look like, in appearance terms, like particularly special. But you do think it seems to be glowing quite brightly, quite a bit more brightly than you would have expected.
Okay. Can I have my detect magic open while this is happening? Because I want to see exactly what the magic is doing while it's glowing.
I think you'd need another person to help you to do this, because I think you can only really focus on one or the other at a time. I think.
Okay.
Well, unless I guess
I
motes of
don't think
moonlight.
Paws has detect magic.
I guess motes of moonlight is just a single cast and it just stays there. Is that true?
Um.
Because if it just kind of stays there regardless of what you do, then I guess you probably could do what you just said.
Motes of moonlight. Oh yeah, now I'm being reminded of like the absolute nightmare I had while trying to create the goddamn character sheet. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Ah,
by
there
the
we
way,
go.
Soder,
It was under illustrating.
okay. By the way, Soder, just letting you know, we're in. I am considering moving the game nights or the game days to Friday evenings instead of Saturday at 3 is the normal time. So I don't know if that's better or worse for you in terms of a time of day, but just let me know. Assuming you're still there. Go on, Dracus.
Yeah, so it looks like it just hangs there.
Okay, so yeah, I
Yeah.
should have expected.
Once cast, the motes of moonlight will hang in place. Yeah.
Well, that was just for next Friday. I don't. That's not like I wasn't. I wasn't really considering at the time, like last night when I sent that. I wasn't considering making that a permanent thing. I was just thinking of that could be a for next week in particular. Fridays I can't really do Saturday, so um anyway, Okay, so yeah, you send the light through the hair, and then you use detect magic, and you're trying to observe what special thing you detect. Um, well, you detect your magical spell going through the light. Um, there's not really much notable about this. Um, it does appear that okay, actually, I'm gonna amend something. The hair does feel warm from the mix from the after the spell cast. So like you sense a small uh warm feeling coming emanating from it, like a gentle heat. Um, and with your
Hmm.
detect magic applied, um, it feels like there's a charm effect. Uh, like it feels kind of like a charm, an enchantment charm type of magic, um, emanating as this light mixes with whatever magical properties exist in the hair.
Okay. Um. Hmm. So now I want to try something more concentrated, but this might end up destroying the hair. So, okay, I'm going to write this down first. So, does it seem to conduct the magic uh of the moat spell well, or is it just like normal?
It seems receptive to it. Like if you'd cast this on a normal piece of hair, you'd probably wouldn't. It would probably just had be a spell attached to it somehow, and it wouldn't do anything.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
there's some sort of interesting interaction going on here. Conducting might not be the right word, but it is seems to be inviting the spell in some sense.
Okay. So now I want to do a B, so this A/B test. I'm going to cast Seeking Moat through
Go
the hair.
ahead.
What happens there?
Okay, so you cast the Seeking Mode. Remind me what the spell Seeking Mode does. I know it's an attack spell. I just don't remember what it says it does. Is it like a magic
So,
missile?
the spell creates a tiny, bright speck of light in one of the caster's hands. It flashes off to strike a single chosen target, turning and twisting to follow them as does a wizard's magic missile spell. So yeah, it's basically a magic missile, except it can miss. It's not like perfect.
So it's basically just a piece of uh it's magical energy that you shoot at something. Um,
Yes.
so you're trying to cast it through the hair. You know what? I'm gonna have you do something fun. Go ahead and I need to think for a moment about what I want the possibilities to be. But I do need you to roll a d20. Just don't tell me what the result is because I need to think. Um, or actually, no, not a d20. Roll a d4 for me.
I already rolled the d20.
Okay, fine. Keep the d20. Um, uh, um, okay, so, right, 1. Six to 10. Okay, so 1 to 5 is going to be that. 6 to 10 is going to be. Um, okay, that's going to be that. 11 to 15 is going to be. Um, okay, no, I got it. I know what I'm going to do. All right, what's your result?
19.
Okay. All right. So I'm guessing what you do is you like hold it up a little bit, or like, how are you casting it through it? Give me a visual on what you're thinking about how you're trying to like cast the spell through it, just so I can. I need help. That's what I'm asking for.
So I want to make sure that this doesn't cause any like damage or anything to surroundings. So I probably do this in like probably away from the town.
Well, I was assuming you're doing it somewhere safe. That's not really what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I I just want to like when you're casting the spell through it, what are you like? Where is the hair? Is it just sitting on like a table or a stump or something, or is it like you're holding it in your hand and you're trying to like almost shoot, almost like use it as like a spell component to shoot something out of it or something? You said through it, so I'm guessing you're trying to like hold
Yeah.
it through and
Basically holding it to light and using it as a spell, essentially a component to uh, conduct, quote unquote, the moat.
okay. So what happens is when you what does the moat look like again? It's a little speck of light.
Yeah, it's like I kind of imagine it as like a dart of like light, a dart of like silvery light.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens is as you try and use it like a bonus component to your spell, um, the hair is actually not consumed. And when you shoot it at like a tree nearby. Actually, what are you shooting it at? What's your decision?
I'm going to shoot it at well, first of all, I'm going to fire because I'm going to A/B test this as well. So I'm going to fire a seeking mote at a tree,
Hmm.
and then I will fire another seeking mote underneath that first one, so I can compare.
Like right on the same tree?
On the same tree,
Oh,
yes.
oh, you're gonna shoot a regular one afterwards.
Yes.
Okay, we're going science here. So
Yes.
the first seeking mote, you shoot it out using the hair as a component, and seemingly the hair is not consumed. Um, you see it flying out, normally it was a silvery light dart that flows out of your hand, but it appears to have changed color slightly, and it is now more of a. It has a little bit of a pink to it,
Okay.
and as it strikes the tree, um, you see it strikes a tree and rips a little bit of bark off. So it does seem to
Okay.
hit the tree mostly normally, at least. And then you shoot the second one, but the damage is much more significant. It actually leaves a little bit of a crater in the tree rather than just ripping some bark off.
So the one with the nymph hair actually is weaker compared to the one that I cast normally.
Seemingly.
Interesting, but it probably has a different effect.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. See ya, Soder.
Bye-bye, Sota.
Take care, Sutter.
Okay. Could I... Oh, that's funny. Could I attempt to cast this on like an animal? Because I want to see what it does if it actually... Well, that's the thing, I don't want to kill the animal.
Well, okay, what kind of animal are you shooting with it?
How durable is like a squirrel?
Let's find. Okay, so you're gonna look around for a squirrel. I'm gonna say easy enough you find one. Um, let me see if I can find it in the monster manual. I guess not. All right. I'd say. All right. So you find a squirrel and you shoot a motes of moonlight through the hair at the squirrel, or the seeking mote, or whatever. Um, it smacks the squirrel. I'll give you a freebie because you're presumably just trying to get the right result, so you're not going to really realistically miss too easily. You have plenty of time. You're just waiting for the perfect opportunity to hit, and you do it. As the seeking mote flies out and hits the squirrel, you see the squirrel squeak and jump, and it looks around for a moment. You see some of its fur gets blown off where it was hit, just at the right at the tail. So it has a little bit of a bald spot now. But as it looks around and sees you, it comes up to you and starts sniffing you.
I give it a little scratchy scratch on the head pat.
It seems to enjoy it.
So this is kind of like a charm effect. Interesting. Could I potentially use this as like a... like a long-range form of... Probably not suggestion, but just like a long-range, low-level charm spell. That could be useful as utility.
Possibilities.
Particularly during negotiations.
Yeah, but I mean, it is pretty conspicuous. Can I pick the squirrel up? I'm gonna give it some more head pats.
You pick it up and seems to enjoy your pets. Crawls around on you for a little bit. Gets on your head. After about 2 minutes time, it gets off you and runs back to its tree that it was climbing up before you shot it.
Okay. I blow out a kiss.
It doesn't notice.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't expect it to. It's just like a funny thing I decide to do.
Fair enough. But yeah, that was your science experiment.
New spell unlocked, I guess.
I guess so.
I'm gonna call it smooching mode.
Mooching mode. Nice. All right, Walls. Anything you wanted to do too? We've got two bits of downtime activity from Duma. What does Jeffrey do other than study history and economics?
Why would you ever do anything else?
Good question.
Um, at some point, Jeffrey's going to start training in the practical aspects of his clerical duty. He still has an economic needs to fulfill.
All right.
He's gonna learn some healing, learn some truth telling.
All right. You just continue training then.
Can I get a montage?
You can get a montage.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. There's your montage music.
Glorious.
That woman.
Everything I've ever wanted.
All right. So yeah, the next few weeks pass by. Let's see. I'm going to do something now.
Oh damn it! We should have collected the shards of the thingamabob, the orb, like the shadow orb.
Oh, the thing you destroyed in the dungeon?
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, well, maybe. Who knows what it could have helped you do? Where are you? I am looking for a certain thing.
I wonder if like I could probably still go back and collect it at some point. The shards are probably still there. When we went to go back and forth, were the shards still there?
You didn't really go pay attention, but well, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess if you took a look, you would have noticed that the shards were still there.
Hmm. I mean, I can't retroactively do that now, so whatever.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Ah. As you guys are milling about throughout town, enjoying your days, doing your training, doing all your stuff, eventually one evening, you notice a new face in town. Wanders into the Tina's Respite. Rather late
Just the
at...
face?
What?
Like, is that
It's a
a whole
floating
person or just the
face.
face?
It's a floating face that just
Okay.
comes into the tavern. It's a person. Um,
No, it's the head from Mr. Miyamoto's brain training.
yes.
That's a specific reference.
Yes, it was the first video game I ever bought. Actually, no, not I didn't buy it. It was the first video game I ever owned because it came along with my DS.
It appears to be a human, and it's dressed only in furs, and has some simple tattoos of floral tattoos on his arms. And his very long brown hair.
Oh, he should have looked like, his face should have looked like this.
Oh,
I posted something in the chat.
I see. That is a handsome fellow for sure. I love how many polygons he has.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Miyamoto.
That's Shigeru Miyamoto?
Yep.
That does not
Actually,
look
no.
like...
Hang on a minute.
That does not look anything like
Hang on a
him.
minute.
It looks like generic Japanese man.
Wait a minute. I could have sworn it was Miyamoto's brain training. Maybe I was wrong. Huh. I thought it was.
Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Apparently, it's Dr. Kawashima's brain training.
Okay.
Huh. I guess that's a Mandela effect for you. How do I? That is weird. Why do I think it was Mr. Miyamoto? Oh my god.
What's up?
My life is a lie.
Oh, just the
Okay,
consequences of the Mandela effect. Yeah, it's wild.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
My
Apparently,
mind is currently blown.
Alright. Well,
Duma's
now you know the truth. Screw this. I was gonna have a snack, but I decided I don't want to take out my invisible.
How long would I actually want to see? How long would it take me with the magic carpet to go to the dungeon, get the shards of the orb, and come back?
I think 2 weeks both ways. That's what we said.
Well, it takes a week and a half of travel to get there on foot.
And the magic carpet was like way faster, right?
It was significantly faster. Let me find it.
Yeah.
Carpet of flying. Okay. Okay. That's pretty fast. It is. It would probably take you. It's a week and a. Well, okay. It took you. It's like a week to get to the forest, and then it takes half a week to get to the dungeon. Although it's mostly because of the fact, or that's significantly because it's rough terrain being in a forest.
And I can just ignore that, yeah.
So if it was, so it would be probably only about an extra day or two on foot, or not even. It would be an extra day if there was no trees in the way. So I guess it would take you like 2 days, 3 days to get there and back.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Sweet. Yeah, so I'll just get 3 regular rations and I'll just consume them on the way. Yeah, so I have the orb now. I have the shattered pieces of the orb.
Okay, well, hold on. Not so fast. You're
That's
gonna
actually true. Are there more monsters in there?
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, roll a d6 for me twice. Actually, whatever.
3 and 5.
Okay, there are no monsters encountered.
Nice.
So you find the orb shards sat on the floor. They're very dusty.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to cast Detect Magic. I want to see if the orb shards still hold any magic.
You do not detect any magical aura emanating from these shards.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, they're just normal pieces of glass.
I'm gonna scoop the shards into a like a sack, like tie it up, like tight, and like put it on the carpet. And then I'm gonna have a look at the pedestal.
Okay. You're gonna examine it to see what's on
Are
it.
there any runes on it? Like, are there any runes on it? Like any like patterns? Any like um reliefs or anything?
Uh, nothing jumps out at you. The floor around it has some random markings. The archway has some carvings of that same demonic entity you see at the entrance to the dungeon. Um, uh, the patterns on the floor around it resemble some sort of magical runes in terms of like the script you recognize as being some flavor of like a magic circle type thing.
Okay. I will essentially I'll draw this all out. So I will essentially from a vantage point, I will draw the circle. I'll draw like basically an elevated bird's eye view of the room. So I can capture the entire circle and kind of see exactly, so I can reconstruct it. I will have a look at the shards to see if there are runes on the shards.
Examining the shards as close as you can, you see no runes anywhere. You don't see any markings. It appears to your eyes that this orb was made of, like, it doesn't look like anything other than plain old glass to you. Smooth, flawless, perhaps, but glass nonetheless.
Hmm.
There's
I'll
some
keep that in
scratches.
mind. But that could simply be from where we hit it.
It very well could be. In fact, it probably is.
Do I recognize the runes?
You recognize the runes as being, well, what spells do you know?
So I know the Motes of Moonlight version of Darkness, which I've decided to call Motes of Nightshade. I know Seeking Mote. And I know the regular level 1 priest spells.
All right. Okay, so you only know level 1 priest spells.
Yeah.
All right, let me check the spell list. You're a cleric. Yeah, from your knowledge, you don't really. The best. Okay, so it seems. You're unfamiliar with the exact purpose. However, from what you do remember, given your history, it does resemble like some of the there seem to be a couple different uh, magical circles in this on this pedestal, or beneath this pedestal on which sat the um, orb, and the best you can figure out based on what you know is that at least some of them resemble summoning uh, circles. Like you've seen in your from your drow heritage, you've seen drow occasionally use these to summon uh, beings,
Demons.
demons and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not quite the same.
Okay.
And then the other set of runes that you notice. So like that one is the inner circle. So basically the way this raised dais on which the pedestal is situated out is there's basically two circles of runes that appear on the floor. The inner circle is the one that resembles some scriptures you saw from demon summoning circles in your drow society. The outer set of runes you don't recognize so much. However, the patterns there do resemble some of these, like some of the scriptures on there seem similar to a few of the runes that are on the archway.
Okay. So my feeling is that they might be warding runes. So I'll like underline those, and I'll essentially like sort them into two categories. I'll like make two columns, and I'll like jot down each individual rune underneath summoning question mark and warding question mark. And I'll like separate the warding one into archway and outer circle. But yeah. And the last thing I'll do here is, so we fought skeletons here, right? I think we did.
In this room with the orb?
Not in this room, but in this dungeon.
You did fight a few skeletons in this
in the dungeon.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You said before that magical items can gain some sort of magical potency by infusing the metal with magical materials, right?
Some methods.
What would happen if I were to infuse the steel with the bones of an undead?
Probably depends on what type of undead it is.
Yeah, so if it's just like a skeleton, for example.
If it's a basic skeleton, intuitively, a skeleton is just an animated corpse or an animated set of bones.
Yeah.
So there's nothing special about the bones necessarily. They're not like some special material. Unless it's like the skeleton of a powerful creature, you don't expect it would have any bonus effect. Because the magic on the bones is coming from outside, not from inside, typically.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you had a vampire and you used like its bones, or really any part of its body, for example, you might get something more interesting, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, I'll bear that in mind. What else did we fight in here? It was just the shadows. So the shadows were actually just shadows. Like they weren't like kind of viscous or liquidy. They were actually just like insubstantial shadows.
They were
The shadow.
they were all hedgehogs.
The shadows we fought. Well,
no.
of course.
But
course.
no. So I mean, they were summoned by the orb, and they seemed just like shadows that seemed to sap your energy a bit. And so, yeah, they were just shadows. They left behind no presence after being defeated.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it then. I'll head back.
Okay. Sure enough, very quick trip on the carpet later, you arrive back in Risteus.
Yep.
At which time the man enters the tavern. Well, actually, I guess this will happen while he's out. So, Jeffrey, you are spending some time in the tavern late evening when this man walks into the tavern and appears to sit at a table. Eventually, the Taina heads over and appears to give him, speak with him for a moment. Sometime later, brings out a plate of food for him, some biscuits and what appears to be some kind of bread and butter, and a few, a couple vegetables and a little bit of what appears to be pork. And he happily eats it.
So, is this in any way distinguished from the normal ins and outs of the tavern?
I mean, the actions aren't. The man is new in town. Like, you haven't seen him before.
Hello, stranger.
Hello.
What has you passing through this town?
Well, I heard there were some troubles in the area recently. I suppose it's been some months now, or weeks, however long. Some travelers were heading westwards, and I happened to hear I happened to speak with them and learned that the land here was in need of some healing. And I thought I might take a look for myself.
I wonder if he's a druid.
He doesn't look Druish.
I mean, he had like flower tattoos, right?
I was making a reference to Spaceballs. That's all that was.
Okay.
It's just a reference.
He had a nose job.
If you want to
Imagine
get
if a nose job was an actual nose job.
like a job for the nose.
No, the nose is doing the job.
Well, that's what I mean. So in other words, what you're asking is for a smell test. Anyway,
It's making nose gold.
I don't suppose you know anything about this matter.
We should have. Okay, refresh my memory. There were two separate instances with land hunting. This is not the giant mushrooms. One, this is the Demons with Orbs one?
Uh,
I think this is both. Um,
I don't think you told anyone what happened in the forest.
yeah, exactly. Like, it may have been the demons with orbs thing, but that was isolated to like the Nymphs Grove, right?
That was, yeah, it's isolated the Nymphs Grove. The only person in town that you think knows about it, really. I mean, unless you've been, I guess they could have been talking about some stuff, but Nina and Stony and Valis and you guys are the only 5 people who were even somewhat aware of what happened in the forest.
I assume someone started talking when we came back with suspiciously large chests of money.
Yeah, but I
Well,
mean,
sure, that was
that
noted.
wouldn't have given them any information about what actually happened.
Yeah, unless you explained where you got the money in any capacity, they have no idea why you have it. They just assume. Mm. They just saw you wheeling
I,
it
I
around.
I guess I relay both the story of the orbs and the zombie mushrooms.
Oh, well, I was certainly referring to. Well, whatever happened in the forest, I don't think anyone. This party heard. That seems too recent to have been anything to do with what I was talking about. I received this news about a month, 2 months ago, from some representatives of the local baron here.
Jeffrey, we need to stop pondering the orb.
It's
So,
fine, we can ponder the mushroom.
so I can only assume that
Mm-hmm.
that the sickness involved was in fact these. You say undead mushrooms.
They were causing a blight around on the land around them.
Yes.
Anything that ate of this blight itself became zombified and would attack other living things in the area.
Fascinating. Dreadful for the land, of course. I don't suppose you could tell me where I might head to look into the matter more closely. Perhaps I would like to take a look.
I pull out my notebook full of maps and information that I just spent writing down.
All right, so you take your map out and you trace your finger along the southward road about, I think it was like a week south, and then um, trace the finger to the east off the road towards the Sua Marsh, the center of the Sua Marsh, where you found that giant mushroom. Um, Guiding him to this location.
Unfortunately, we didn't find any plumbers.
Didn't find any what?
Plumbers.
Oh, no pliers. It is at this time that a man with a red hat and overalls walks into the bar. No. Um, it's a me, Druid Man. I see. Okay. Allow me to copy this map down. I'll need to travel there myself. Um, what is your name, good sir?
My name is Joffrey.
A pleasure to
And
meet.
you?
A pleasure to meet you. You may call me. Uh,
Zanzibar.
You may call me Winthrop.
Winthrop, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. The land was still very scarred.
I can imagine. It seems under natural circumstances, this would take decades potentially to heal. Thankfully, there are ways I think we can accelerate the healing and bring it back to what it should have been.
Do tell. I'm very interested in seeing the productivity of the land restored.
Well, I don't really know what to tell you other than magical rights, natural rights.
Synthetic rights.
I happen to be learned in the natural world and the inherent magics there within therein.
So really, it would be property rights.
If druids are natural men, what would synthetic man be?
Artificer.
Racist.
Yeah.
But needless to say, the specifics on how the healing should be achieved are going to
Very contextual.
likely contextual. However, based on what you've described, I suspect what we'll have to do is examine the mushrooms themselves, at least for best results, and see if we can't essentially reverse its effect. That would be fastest, although it's not necessarily even possible. If it is possible, that would make this far easier. Even a small number of persons could heal the land on their own within no more than a month's time or two. Of course, depending on how large it is, but the area is, and it sounds like it was quite far-reaching. If it's not possible to do that with what we have, then I'm afraid it's just going to have to be. It would take great numbers and great power to essentially bring the life that is growing outside of the range of this effect and gradually move it inwards until the marsh is restored to its natural order. Either way, I fear this, and I fear that it's likely that it's the latter rather than the former, but there's cause for hope, I'm sure.
Is there any way I can be of assistance?
Well, by the look of you, you have a look of a man of the cloth. While our studies are very different in ideals and goals, our knowledge is they are akin. I'm sure that you could make use of some of what I could, some of the methods that I use and aid me in devising the healing rites themselves. They're not all that different between any respectable church of civilization, faith of civilization, and those of the natural world. Both are generally intent on the preserving the life cycle within the world and not ripping it to shreds.
Respectable orders within civilization. I poked my head out.
Did you say that word to him?
No, I'm not there. I was just making a joke
Oh,
because
okay,
drow.
gotcha. I mean, well, Elistray would technically. Well, I guess he doesn't know about. He may not know about Elistray, but you know, Elistray, I'm sure, is aligned in goals with the rest respectable religions.
Yeah,
Um,
she sure is.
but anyway, yes. Would you be interested in accompanying me to this marsh, Mr. Jeffrey? Or Joffrey? Is it Jeffrey or Joffrey?
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
That's the
Mr.
arrow.
Joffrey.
I personally would be very interested. However, I'd travel with the party. They have proven to be quite a capable bunch, and
By all means, the more the merrier.
we will have to consult. It may be that I may have to meet you there, and some bandits may take precedence first. But that should give you time to prepare the necessary rites, correct?
Well, if you're planning to address the bandits problem, I'm afraid that could take some time. They've grown rather bold over the months. I narrowly escaped some parties on my own just on the way here. Um, but I understand if that's where your priorities lie. They are certainly a much less localized problem for uh, the nation, the empire. So I suppose if that's what you must do, you must do it. But I don't expect you'd return particularly soon if you wish to address it. But nonetheless, if you return before I am done, I will gladly take whatever aid I can whenever you return. I don't expect that those men I met met near Uteus will be back soon. The bandits seem to have harried them, and they may have been called into other services in the meantime. I suspect that's why they never came. Uh, they have not returned thus far with the holy men. Nonetheless, I will be here for another day or two, resting up from my travels before I head down to the marshlands. So you have some time before you need to make a decision, or before any decisions are made. Although, of course, like I said, I will meet you there. Should I? You will know where to find me. Should I leave anyway? So, um, no urgency required on your part. Anyway, I suppose with that I should take myself to bed and rest for the evening. I'm rather weary. I bid you good night.
Rest easy, Winthrop. Be well. I will see you on the morrow.
And he leaves the bar. And then shortly thereafter, Duma returns with pieces of glass in a bag. What will you do?
I got bored and drew this symbol.
That's a fun
Go to
symbol.
bed.
Pardon?
That is a fun symbol. I said, what are you gonna do? Probably go to bed. Wait.
Well, I meant that Duma returns like a day later. I'm assuming you went to bed.
Oh, I'm introduced Duma to Winthrop.
All right, so Duma returns, and you bring him back to look around. You ask around for where this Winthrop fellow is, and you find him taking a gentle stroll through the woods on the eastern side of town. He goes, "Oh, Joffrey, well met again. Is this one of your
And
companions?"
yeah, he has to look up and up and up. He's an 8 foot tall giant in like full armor.
Well, actually, I guess
I salute.
let's see. Let's see. Come on. Oh, okay. He's a short fella. So yeah, he looks very he looks has to crane his neck very high to see you, to look you in the face. So this is one of your companions, Joffrey.
I give him a wave.
What is your name, good sir?
My name is Duma.
Oh, excuse me,
And
ma'am. You're rather
thank
tall
you.
for a lady. I know I'm short, but even among men, but even should I have been, yeah, but I'm not. I may be of small stature myself, but even if I were of a man of great stature, I still doubt it still would be unlikely for me to reach your height. Quite the imposing,
Yes.
madam you are.
Thank you.
It's getting warm out, though. Surely you wouldn't want to wear all that armor all the time. How can you stand it?
I have my reasons.
So impressive you are. It's getting hot in here. Please step on me.
I have my reasons.
Well, far be it from me to nose about others' personal business. Well met. Sorry, I did not catch your name.
Duma.
Well met, Duma. Lady Duma. Have you considered whether or not you wish to join me on my excursion, Joffrey, and have you told Duma about it?
Duma has just arrived back from some type of errand. I have not yet had time to inform her.
Very well. I shall take the liberty and explain myself. I am here on account of a group of travelers who were heading west some time ago, and I met them not too far outside of Uteus, the great city. They were talking about, after spending some time and chatting with them, they informed me of one of what happened here, roughly speaking, about the land being sick and dying and causing poor harvests. Naturally, given my expertise, shall we say, I became interested and wished to see if I could provide any aid. It seemed they were heading into the city to request assistance from the centers of the centers of faith in the nation, and I thought perhaps I could get started and see if I could provide some assistance sooner rather than later. Especially given the bandit troubles, I had no idea how long it would take them to get there. Fortunately, I managed to get here relatively unscathed, and though I was forced to flee a few times, once or twice from some bandits I've encountered on the road. But as you can see, I'm relatively alright. However, Joffrey informed me a little bit more about what was going on, about those undead mushrooms that were eating the land, or or some such.
Yes, we sent out a call for aid after we discovered the origin of the issue. We were worried that no help would come, as it had been quite a while. So thank you for taking the time. I'm sure your help will be greatly beneficial.
He gives a soft bow, and he goes, "It is my pleasure. Now, as for the conclusion, I just arrived in town last night, so I'm going to take a few days of rest from my travels. It has been quite a long journey, as you can guess. And once that's done, I plan to head towards the center of the marshland where you fellows found the great mushroom, the fungal infection. I've already informed Joffrey, but if you wish to travel with me and aid me, I don't suppose you are a lady of the cloth.
I am indeed.
Then you would prove helpful as well. If you wish to join me, that would be most beneficial, but I understand you have several tasks on your agenda to take care of, so regardless of when you can join me, it would be appreciated. Naturally, I'm heading out in the next few days, so if you decide to join me on the journey from the beginning, no doubt you'll find it easy enough to find me before I leave. But if you if your attention takes you elsewhere, you know where to find me at the center of the marsh, or nearby anyway. I'll certainly be traveling around that region, and I cannot imagine I will be too far from the center of the marshlands at any given time. Although if I am, I will certainly leave messages for you at some local. I'll certainly leave some notice for you to find at some of the homesteads that Joffrey informed me about last night. So you should be able to find me easily enough. But I suppose, are there any questions you have for me at this time?
Not particularly. Although I think I will remain here for a few weeks before I head to your location. I have unfinished business in this town. Some errands that I still require the completion of. But as soon as I am able, I will attend to your request as soon as possible.
Very well, understandable. Well met, Lady Dumas, and once again, Joffrey. If there's nothing else, I will simply be continuing my walk for the day and getting some much-needed rest, and enjoying my time. I imagine it is. So I will be around, but I don't have much to discuss at this time. So if that's all, I will be off. And I guess he wanders off.
May time bid you well. Yep, may time bid you well.
He bows and wanders off. So what do?
I'm gonna check up on my scythe, and I'll give him some continued instructions about like the final design and such. Just check up on how things are going.
Are you going to
Give
give
him
him
some
the
more,
nymph hair?
How many nymph hairs do I want to give? How many nymph hairs would you be willing to part with, Joffrey?
How many pairs of what?
How many nymph pairs would you be willing to part with? How many strands? Bear in mind, we only have 50.
Well, 49.
To 49. What are the risks? What are we doing this for?
I want to embed it into the scythe that I'm creating.
How many do you think you'll need?
How many would be required for a grip, would you say, Stug?
Oh, you want a grip on your scythe? Get bent. No. You can, we can turn all those nymph hairs into love potions at, like, higher capacity, and then we can use that money to buy a better grip for your scythe that's magical.
Yeah, it would take if you wanted to make the grip out of nymph hair, that would basically eat all of your nymph hairs, and you'd probably still have to add something else to it.
And I'm
I probably
not
wouldn't
sure
make
what
the
the nymph
entire
hair's
grip out of
doing
nymph
to the
hair.
scythe.
If you just wanted to like line the grip a little bit with like nymph hairs, you could probably get away with like 8. But again, you may want to
What about
consider what purpose
quenching?
this would do, like what sort of enchantment you're even planning on gaining from this.
I'm kind of thinking like now. I'm kind of thinking like now you mentioned potions. Would it be possible to quench? Involve a potion in the quenching process?
Like to pour it in, like when you're making the metal.
Yes.
So if you're trying to infuse the potion into a metal alloy, I don't think that would work out because it would just basically evaporate after from the hot metal. Like you'd pour it in and it would just kind of be burned away. Like it would just evaporate. You wouldn't get any real benefit from it.
Okay.
So in other words, if you want to do something like that, you'd need something. You need to make from the nymph hair some kind of similar. Far more is viscous the right word? I can never remember if viscous means thick or if it means
Viscous is thick, yes.
Okay. So you need something very,
Viscous
very
is thick.
viscous. You need to make something that like a very dense, viscous fluid that could then be infused into the metal.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it'd probably still have a chance of failure because I don't know what that would do to the metal itself, like in terms of it would weaken it significantly. So in order to get it to be similarly strong, it would have to be pretty diluted. Which is possible, but it may mean that it just means that it would be. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just say this: it would require a very viscous fluid to infuse. It is possible, maybe, though it may be hard. I would say there would be a chance of failure regardless. But it is a possibility. However, the other drawback is in order to get such a viscous, concentrated, love potion-esque fluid that you could infuse into a metal that would eat a lot of your nymph hairs.
Hmm.
Alternatively, you could go hunting for magical beasts and find something else to put in the metal.
That's an option. But that will require a quest onto itself.
Well, you've got some weeks. It's only been like 5 days since you asked for the scythe.
It's before the time of 3D printers.
Yeah.
They had
So
to make that
no
thing.
resin. No resin.
A 3D printed love scythe.
I was actually thinking of taking the love potion aspect and effectively doing a spell reversal on it to make it like a fear spell.
Or a hate.
It's except the indifference of love. The opposite of love isn't fear; it's indifference.
Mm-hmm.
So you make a scythe of
Yeah, but it's like sympathy versus antipathy, right?
You make a scythe of disinterest.
a scythe of just not caring anymore.
You cut
A
someone.
scythe of
You stab.
a scythe of depression.
You slash someone across the chest, and instead of getting mad, they just go, yeah.
I slash someone across the wrist, and they start getting their own wrists.
Irish deer.
Yeah.
What about Irish deer?
So
the monster manual has Irish deer as a monster.
How is that different from regular deer?
It says these moose-sized creatures of the Pleistocene epoch dwell in temperate climes. Their antlers spread to 10-foot width, and they can actually gore two opponents within the span if they are directly before the deer. They are not generally aggressive, but are very dangerous during rutting season, early spring. So I guess they're an extinct breed of deer that was huge. I guess.
That implies the existence of Ireland in a D&D setting.
It does.
Yep. I mean, to be honest, Ireland was considered a land of fairies, wasn't it? Like the
I think it was.
like the Dunedain.
This is apparently the mounted skeleton. Maybe I should show the stream images sometimes, you know.
Absolutely.
So let's bring up my screen.
Does the Irish elk count as a magical beast?
I would say no. It's just an animal. No more magical than the mastodon that killed you.
Does the platypus
Well, the
count
fact
as a
that it's
magical beast?
around is magical. And that one clearly is an elk skeleton. Stug. That's obviously magical.
Okay, so this is the Irish elk. Internet, happy birthday. Now you've seen it. Now you've not. Anyway, sorry, what was said?
Oh yeah, it's an elk skeleton.
A magical animal.
Yeah, it's an skeleton.
Yeah, it's obviously magical.
True. It is a magical creature of undead proportions.
Yes.
But yeah, so would you like to go searching for magical creatures? You may want to put your
Um.
scythe on pause depending on how long this excursion takes, too.
Hmm. That is true. Um. I think I might put it on pause.
So you're gonna. Do you want me to
Would that
not
affect
continue
the
working on the scythe?
um? So would it be possible to pause its creation, or would that damage it in the long run?
It should be quite fine. I just if you're pausing this creation, just I guess just come back to me when you want me to start again. I'll put it off to the side. I've already done the done the math, as it were, and figured out how much metal and how much wood and how I'm gonna. Basically, the blueprints are done, and I've got all the metals together that I need to make it. Especially to your specifications with your intricate counterbalance design. Um, so just let me know when you want me to start up work again. Is there some reason you need it on pause? What's going on?
I think I'm going to go out on an excursion to find some magical beasts.
Looking to get in and get this thing enchanted one day, huh?
Yes, very much so.
Fair enough. Well, I guess just let me know. I'll put it up. I'll put the materials on hold for you. Just let me know when you need me to start up again. And I guess question: what part of the scythe are you planning on infusing with whatever material? Or is it going to be entirely based on what you find?
Um, Most likely. Um, I am considering the head of the scythe, the blade. If I
For choice.
if I if I'm able to kill a powerful creature, then I could potentially harvest its skeleton um, for use in what's it called? Um, what's this? What's it? Is it just alloy? Like steel is just an alloy, right? It's not like considered anything
Yeah, steel's an
else.
alloy. It's like it's iron and
Yeah,
something.
iron and carbon.
Ah, yes, yes.
Um, yeah, that's why I was wondering because carbon isn't a metal. So I was
Wait,
wondering if it was
steel
like,
is made of
yeah,
iron and carbon. I didn't know that actually. I guess that makes sense.
yeah. Steel is an alloy of iron and carbon that demonstrates improved mechanical properties compared to the pure form of iron.
Hmm. Wait,
Yeah.
so was there ever any weapons that were made pure of iron?
Yes.
Because if it was so
But
brittle and
they were
soft.
quite weak compared to, yeah, exactly. Um, Iron weapons are far inferior to steel ones. I would imagine that you'd often have like, I guess, iron copper alloys and like or iron tin alloys to kind of
Okay, that makes sense.
to strengthen it. But yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah. The that's why I was considering bones specifically.
Okay. Makes sense.
because that would naturally feed into the alloy creation.
All right.
Yeah.
So are you gonna go on your hunting quest now, or what are you doing?
Yeah. So the thing is, of course, Stoney's not here.
Stony is not here.
So that's the thing. I don't exactly want to just recruit his character without his permission to go on this quest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So Nina is a ranger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps I could, because Nina is an NPC, so that would be a lot more. I'd be a lot
You could
less.
you could potentially recruit her if you can convince her to join you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will explain my goal to Nina. And attempt to persuade her of the benefits of hunting a beast, hunting magical beasts. Perhaps she could be awarded some of the spoils, some of the materials that we harvest.
Maybe eventually she'll even get her sword back.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Um. Go to. All right. So you're going up to Nina. You find her in the tavern.
And I mean,
eating with Orion, and she's sort of glaring
yeah.
at him, staring at it, and like her eyes are going back and forth between him and her sword.
Yeah. I will like. I'm just gonna say this now. The last thing I'm gonna do is like as I'm trying as part of basically my pitch is I'm gonna lean in and whisper in her ear. If you help me out with this, I will certainly back you up in convincing Orion to return your sword to you.
All right. And you're also offering her some of the spoils of the hunt.
Yes.
Okay, roll a D100 for me. This is an encounter reaction roll. Keep in mind, this is not roll under a percentage. It is roll a percentage and it affects.
91.
Okay. She stands up, looks you in the eye, and you immediately both clasp arms the way that Armstrong and whatever his name is in Full Metal Alchemist
Yes.
Brotherhood do. And there's a
Yes.
sparkle between the two of you. You are instant best friends.
Dude. And that's the thing. My charisma is 15. So
Yeah.
like
well, here's the thing. Technically, you didn't roll, like if unadjusted, you didn't roll high enough for this reaction. It would have been a very good one, but it wouldn't have been. It still wasn't quite high enough for this reaction. But because of the things you offered, it bumped it up.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. What would the regular reaction have been? I'm curious.
The regular one, she would have been. She would have. It would have been. She would have stood up, stuck out her hand, and gave you a firm handshake. He goes, "Sounds like a lot of fun. Let's do it." That's probably what I would have done.
Okay. So
But
that would have still been a very, very good reaction.
no, yeah,
But
it would have been very good.
wow.
It just would have been quite as humorously positive.
Okay. Uh,
So okay, you recruited Nina.
yeah. Does Nina have a sword? Because right now Orion's probably not going to give her back her sword. I would probably want to make sure she's properly equipped.
She does not have a sword, right? Actually, I forget what weapons she has. Let me check.
Okay. She has a bow, I know that. But
yeah. So where are you, Nina? Nina, there you are. Okay. She has no sword. She has her
okay.
bow, and that's it.
Did the blacksmith sell swords? Is that like an armorer? Does the blacksmith have like a side hustle as an armorer? Or is it
He makes weapons and armor, yeah.
okay. So does he have like swords that he's currently selling? Or
Last you checked when you were there, he didn't really seem to have any swords in inventory sitting around.
okay.
He had like maybe a couple. He was basically just making like table, um, you know, odds and ends that farmers would use. Like he had some pitchforks and stuff. He seemed to be mainly um, targeting his demographic, as it were, his local demographic,
Okay.
because it's the only way to make money.
Okay. So how long would it take for him to create a sword like essentially that is weighted for Nina and that she'll be able to use with proficiency?
3 days.
Okay. So essentially a sword to Nina's specifications, how she would like it. This is essentially a replacement for her sword until she gets her one back.
Yeah, I mean, she can get a well crafted sword easily enough. It's going to cost a fair bit once again because of all the economy, but let's find
Yeah.
out exactly how much it
This
is.
blacksmith is getting some really good business.
He is. He is not ill pleased.
Really, we've just been spending a bunch of money. They love us here.
Yep.
You're stimulating the economy. Pray that it doesn't
Yeah.
cause
Yes.
inflation.
I mean, there is one thing that will cause inflation. Creating gold. We all know that.
Yeah. All right,
Oh,
so
I thought we were going to go somewhere darker with that.
I would say that this is going to cost you 45 gold for the sword.
Okay. That's fine. So that's 100 gold. I will take that out of my stockpile. Where is? Wait a minute. Oh, did I? I guess I did. 244. Okay. Yeah. So that's deducted.
Cool. So 3 days later, you receive a sword, and hand it off to Nina, who goes, "This is a good sword."
All right. This is a good sword.
And then she gives it to a small boy who goes to fight orcs. I'm joking. Anyway, yeah, okay. So you have Nina what's her name? Wolfshade. Oh, I guess I never told you guys that. Whatever. Anyway,
Wolf Shade. Wolf Shade. God damn it. I guess that's the reason why Orion likes her.
basically,
He just intuitively knew.
he knew she was a furry.
Yes.
Like him. And so yeah, she all right, when are we heading out?
So how far away was the road that we saw the dragon?
You saw the dragon. Uh, you were about, I think, 3 days east along the road, and then like a day or two north of the road. If I remember correctly.
Okay. So
Somewhere around there, regardless.
Nina probably knows a bit more about the ecology of like the local wildlife and just generally like what kind of like magical and non-magical creatures tend to thrive in these regions. What are the general patterns and behavior of the creatures of this region? Are there any places that they tend to cluster? Do they tend to cluster around creatures of powerful magic? Like,
Well,
what's the general?
so like, you would know, Nina would know, anyone would know basically that creatures of similar, it's generally going to be aligned. So like a dragon, for instance, let's just say a red dragon. They're famous enough amongst folk that you would know a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of creatures flee from them. So like if a dragon suddenly settles in the region, you're going to find that most typical animals like bears and wolves and stuff are going to try to avoid it a little bit. They're not necessarily going to leave the area right away, but like they're not going to be like moving towards the dragon at any point. If they see the dragon, they're booking it if they can. Creatures
Okay.
that might cluster around the dragon would be ones that want to like serve it somehow. So like, maybe like kobolds, since they're also dragonkin.
Yeah.
Or some fire creatures might enjoy its presence if they're in the area. Things like that. Most things are going to be relatively unaffected by the dragon's presence. If you instead had like a demon in the area, conceptually, you would expect that good creatures or most natural creatures would generally flee the area, just instinctively due to
Yeah.
the horrific presence. And evil creatures would
Mm.
come there, like spiders and stuff. Kind of like Morgoth, or the spawn of Ungoliant.
Spiders are evil?
Mirkwood. Giant spiders are, well, I mean, smart spiders are often evil, yes. I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Not jumping spiders though. Jumping spiders are adorable.
Jumping spiders are good. Okay, in real life, spiders are basically neutral, but they're also good aligned because they kill other bugs.
Yes.
However, they're evil aligned a little bit because they put spider webs everywhere. It's annoying. But
I wouldn't actually say it's evil aligned. I'd say that's tricksy aligned.
yeah, it's annoying aligned.
That's chaotic.
It's slightly
That's
gross
chaotic.
aligned. Yeah. But so yeah, like giant spiders are evil, so they might come to where the demon is. And ettercaps similarly would probably do things. Undead might go there, or just arrive in the area. It really is dependent on the creature, what other creatures are going to be drawn to it, and what creatures are going to flee from it, and then what basically what the local environment's going to look like after a powerful creature settles there for a while. One thing that is notable is that dragons tend to reflexively cause changes in the environment after they stay there for a long time. Particularly, like the oldest dragons do. Because, their mere presence alters it and makes it basically more homey for them. Like a white dragon, a super old white dragon is probably going to turn the local area into a rather frigid wasteland.
Yeah.
Although this does take a long time, so it's not like it doesn't like happen within like a year, for instance, but eventually it will.
Has Nina heard any rumors about magical creatures around recently? Or was the only thing that she was really searching for the blight?
Well, actually, she wasn't even searching for it. She just happened to stumble upon it. In fact, when she was exploring the forest, there wasn't a blight.
Interesting.
And so, best you can tell based on when the timelines line up, when she found the orb and when the blight began are approximately the same time.
Oh, okay, so I assume that her opening the temple caused the blight.
That would be a good guess.
Or,
that would be a fair assumption.
The question is how she opened the temple. So there is still that question.
She did say the door was open when she got there.
Oh yeah, she did. Okay. So she probably interacted with the orb in some way and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay. So good signs to look for would be an area that animals avoid, and an area that is potentially slightly unusual from the rest of the environment.
That would be a decent thing to look for.
Okay. I mean,
go ahead.
The marshlands, the swamplands that we were at before, were saturated in like necromantic energies, right?
They were.
So we could just head back there and hunt for ghouls, basically.
That is an option. That's a fair idea.
Yeah.
It has been a while, so who knows if they're still around.
Yeah, but the thing is, the lands haven't been cleansed, right?
They have not.
So the likelihood is the putrefaction would still remain.
It's a fair choice. I'm just saying it's been a while.
Yeah. How long would it? Because I mean, that means we would actually be going with. Was it his name Winthrop?
Yes.
Okay, so we would actually be heading in the same direction. So it might actually just be a good idea to hang with him as we head to the marshlands.
Could be a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that might actually be for the best. So I guess that basically just means that we're going in the same direction that he's going in. How, like, what, like, so you said that skeletons, you have kind of like an undead tier list from basic bitch skeletons to vampires. Yeah. And
I
like,
mean,
what kind of?
I wouldn't say that that's the ends of the scale, but yes, they are on. They're vampires are definitely like a higher tier magical creature than a skeleton, which isn't really a magical creature. It's just an animated thing.
Okay. What is a ghoul?
A ghoul would definitely fall under the line of a magical undead. It strictly has properties that are unique to it. It is not a simple. It's not a skeleton, so it's not just an animated set of bones or a zombie, which is also just an animated human corpse or elf corpse or whatever. Now, I would say that a zombie might be more magical than a skeleton because it involves more. The magic is actually animating more than just
Flesh.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like animated flesh. So there's more there. You could actually get something from a. You might actually be able to get something from a zombie's flesh. Probably not its bones, but maybe its flesh. A ghoul, on the other hand, is actually essentially a magical undead creature. So it actually has power
Okay.
unto itself,
So is
much like
this
a
campaign
vampire
just going
does.
to be Monster Hunter?
I guess so.
Sorry, what was that, Walls?
Is the rest of the campaign just going to be Monster Hunter?
Well, it kind of sounds like it so far. But yeah, I think I might want to go ghoul hunting, monster hunting.
Alrighty. I think that is a good plan.
Yeah, it's safer, because it's not just me and Nina and I. And it's also has quite a much higher likelihood of success.
Indeed.
So I'll brief Nina on that, and perhaps we could actually get going to the Sora marshlands ahead of time.
Okay. Well, actually, at this point, given how much time you've taken, you're basically on schedule with Winthrop.
Okay, cool.
So you
So that
probably
means we're
could
going
just leave it
together
with
then.
him. All right.
Sure. I let Winthrop know of the change of plans, and I let him know that an additional member has joined our party.
Excellent, excellent. Well met, Lady Nina. Well met, Lady Nina. I can see that you are quite a capable maiden yourself. Are you by chance a ranger? If so, that would aid me even more as well. I am. Excellent, excellent. I fear that our chances of success are growing daily. Onward!
I like how that was basically a very roundabout way of me going on his adventure.
Yes. And
Me basically just being like, yay!
and how do you guys feel about stopping here? Because it's getting close to 3 hours. I think it's a good stopping point. I know we didn't really do
I think that's a good
much,
stopping point.
but
Yeah, especially Walls. So I'm sorry I took up so much of the session, Walls.
That's the nature of these things. You have nothing to apologize for.
well, I hope you had fun at least, Walls. Did you enjoy my explanation of the history to you?
I did. I will be watching this video back so I can actually take notes.
Nice. And I gave you just
We've
a
both got
broad
notes that we can
summary.
take.
There's much more information that I have in my brain already, but I gave you just sort of a broad outline of what you were specifically asking for. So I didn't know if you wanted more like actual history or anything. But
Maybe.
That was the
I
NBC
might
president.
Joffrey would be
Yeah.
more interested in like developmental patterns.
Yeah, I figure. That's why I kind of focused on the trade route that the local area has and what the information is. Basically, what the two roads, the crossroads, were actually leading between. So good summary there. I'm actually gonna have to listen back to it because some of it I slightly made up on the spot. To be honest, it was all there in my head roughly, but like I didn't know, for example, what the name of the eastern port city was until today.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of things.
But yeah, all right, good stuff. I guess we'll just.
My rolls have been pretty good today, honestly.
You got some good rolls. Go ahead and you guys get 200 experience points. And I guess nothing else really significant happened, so we'll just leave it at that. But we at least have a direction we can go in. Like I said, I don't know 100% if I'm going to run the game Friday night, but I will. But it's on the table. I will inform you guys Thursday evening of what I plan to do. Stoney already said he can't come to the Friday game. I don't think that Equin has said anything about whether or not he can. So I don't know about that, but it is what it is.
So Stoney just flat out cannot come to the Friday game
This coming Friday.
at any point.
Well, he didn't say ever.
This coming
he just
Friday.
Said this coming Friday.
Oh, okay.
Well, specifically, he said, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to make that Friday game. I don't know if that. It sounds like he's just talking about that specific one, but I could also possibly see that extending to every Friday. But I'll have to clarify that with him later. Anyway, bye, Internet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.